Good morning. I'm so glad you're here. If you don't know who I am, my name is Rita Hickman. I'm a body mind expert and a shiatsu massage therapist in Northern Illinois. And we are coming up on spring, which is so wonderful. Yesterday, I took a little field trip into my backyard and looked at the crocuses that are coming up and all the fun things which are popping up in my yard. Because, because of my background and because of my life, and how I'm wired, I've had to learn how to have really, really amazing self-care. And so this whole week, we've been talking about the mindsets that get in the way of doing things that help you stay happy and balanced and keep your stress down. Hey, Rosa, all the things that we have to do in order to kind of stay sane and keep being the best person that we are. It's not about transformation. It's about learning how to keep moving forward, and transformation sort of happens as a side effect. When you get really good at self-care, transformation happens because life happens, and when you stay open to life and open to everything that life brings you, then you're able to really, really find that happiness and that peace and the relationships and create the things that you're looking for. Yeah, I agree, Christian. So today we're kind of doing a cumulative of the week, of the beliefs on the week. And the topic is my secrets to emotional self-care. So, throughout the week we've talked about how, you need to give yourself permission, because if you don't give yourself permission, nobody else is, because everybody else is just as self-absorbed. Hey, Nikki. Everybody else is just as self-absorbed with their thoughts, feelings, and emotions, and they're not going to give you permission. In fact, in their self-absorption, they will, want you to take less care of yourself so that you can take care of them, because they're not thinking the consequences. And the consequences are when you're depleted and you don't feel good and there's nothing left and your stress level is high and you're giving everything to everybody else, then you start to break down. And everybody that depended upon you now can't. You can't be there for them. You can't do the things that you wanted to do because you let yourself go too far down. Then we talked about when is a good time for self-care. All the time. Your body and your mind don't really know when you've reached that threshold. You only see it through external signs, like you're fighting more often, or your relationships don't look good, or you're having more trouble at your job. You won't feel as stressed as you think you are. You're actually usually much more stressed than you are. And I don't know, it may be the same level of stress that human beings have always gone through the beginning of time, but they are different stressors. And so we have to learn how to deal with them differently. So when do you need self-care? You need self-care all the time. Then we talked about being preemptive. You need to be really preemptive about self-care if you want to make sure that you don't crash and burn unexpectedly, that you don't end up totally flooded by emotions and unable to cope. And if you keep looking for ways to fill your well and feel good and find joy and pleasure and create pleasure, then you'll feel a lot more stable, and it's less likely that you'll end up being flooded and depressed for days on end. Hey, Kelly. Or, on the couch watching television endlessly, or getting into fights with people that matter to you and people that are important. You won't self-destruct when you look for opportunities that really bring true peace and love and joy and things like that. You're going through a lot, especially in your relationship. I totally get that, Kelly. I know this is a weird time that we've all been in. Hey, Sarah. This is a weird time we've all been in where for the last few days, for some reason, people have been falling off of the cliff. People have been creating relationship problems. All those deep, triggers and issues have been coming to the surface. And if you're a nice, compassionate person, you've probably been blindsided by them, because people are, when you're nice, you're the only safe person that they can act out or work through all of those suppressed emotions with. You're safe. And unfortunately, compassionate, nice, kind, flexible, understanding people are the people who get a lot of the crap, because we're safe. We're not going to destroy somebody else's life. We're not going to, make their life miserable. We're not going to do any of those things. We're going to try to be compassionate and be supportive. And so, yeah, we tend to get, sadly, a lot of the garbage. However, if you get really good at self-care, then you're taking your power back. And people can act out and do the things that they need to do in order to work through their feelings or work through their issues. And you can stay in that really beautiful power position. And that's where self-care comes from. When we're getting lambasted by people around us, the better you take care of yourself, the more able you are to really ride the wave of it all and get to the other side with some insight and understanding and things along those lines. So then yesterday we talked about what does self-care look like. Self-care looks like everything over the rainbow, including some of the things that people are doing now. When I was growing up, I was involved in theater and music. And what that was is it was an opportunity for me to express my emotions, to authentically feel and express things that are going on. Now, we tend to do that in our relationships now instead. People don't feel comfortable going onto a stage or acting it out in a play. And so instead, we recreate it in our relationships, our friendships, our family, our interactions, the guy on the street corner. We replay our feelings. We express our feelings completely inappropriately on people who totally don't necessarily deserve it, because we don't realize we're acting out. That's where that phrase comes from, acting out. We're acting out our emotions. And when you can find a safe way to act out your emotions, then you're able to continue to stay emotionally and mentally healthy. Hey, Kara. So that brings us to today's topic, which is my secrets for emotional self-care. And my number one secret to not fall off of my cliff into the deep, deep water is to give myself permission to allow myself to be okay with expressing my emotions in some way. You've got to find some way that moves your emotions, that doesn't just cover them up or hide them or give you a beta endorphin lift, but that actually lets you express how you feel in some way. For people who are into sports, it can be, I remember I used to play softball as a kid, and hitting a softball was a way that I could move all of that anger and all of that hurt and frustration. Hey, Ro, good to see you. And all of those feelings that were inside of me. Some people do it through, as I said, acting or singing. It's not necessarily pretty. It's not fun. It's not, unicorns and rainbows. What a lot of this stuff can be is this anger and this hurt, but it has to be expressed in some way. And so theater is one of my favorite ways to do it. You make an agreement with someone and you say, we are going to act this out. We are going to do it. And whether it's unspoken or spoken ahead of time and then, the show begins, whatever it may be, it really helps to have a healing partner, somebody that can be present with you and you can be present with them to act out these emotions. Other things are, using anything that lets you use your imagination to move these emotions. I can't tell you how many times when I've been in the middle of things, I've had to use my imagination because in real life it wasn't good to do those things. It wasn't good to go and cause damage to anything or vandalize anything. But what I can do is inside of myself, I can still do that. I can still have that really great present visualization of acting out my emotions without putting them out into the real world. We've got such an obsession about positive thinking and law of attraction. And the problem with that is it means that we never get to express what we're really feeling, what's really going on inside of us. Hey, Lisa, we don't get that opportunity. And when we don't express what we're really feeling, normal human emotions of anger, hurt, frustration, aggravation, irritation, overwhelm, blame, shame, those are all normal. They're so normal. And when we deny them, then they end up coming out either because we get really sick or because we do end up acting them out, because when we're under that much stress, we lose all rational ability. So when you let yourself act out your emotions in some way, no matter what it may be, when you don't have a judgmentalism about how you feel, then you're able to really take care of it. Our problem is we judge how we feel. And we say it's bad, we say it's negative, and we say it's going to draw negative things to us. And our bad thoughts and our bad imagination is going to create a bad life for us. It's when we deny those things, when we deny that's how we feel, that's what's going on with us. That's what creates the problem. When we don't express it in some way. One of my favorite types of body work is Feldenkrais. And Feldenkrais is all about the idea that your nervous system doesn't know the difference. Your body mind doesn't know the difference between things that you imagine really well and things that you actually do. So you're able to work out these emotions if you let yourself, be present. Have you ever had, sat there and not been able to move for some reason, and in your imagination you were, jiggling your foot, or tapping your foot, or tapping your fingers, or maybe when you were watching a play or a dance, on television or on stage, and it's not like you can, jiggy around in your seat. So instead you feel your body moving with the dance, moving with what's going on stage. You feel it, you're a part of it, you become one with it, and that helps you move all of those emotions. So, if you're having a hard time tapping into things which, are causing you angst, and that you need to have this catharsis, you need to feel it in a safe way, go see a play. That's hard. That's what those Shakespearean tragedies are all about. Hey, Evie, good to see you. That's what those Shakespearean tragedies are all about. That's what those difficulty and pain and drama and sorrow, it's to help you feel the things that are inappropriate to feel in normal life. Yeah, I don't blame you, Nikki, for being angry. You don't know how to get it out. He won't listen. Then you have to find somebody who can listen to you. You have to stop trying to get people who aren't capable of hearing you. You're not going to get them to hear you. It's not possible. They're not in their rational mind. They don't get it. So instead, you have to find somebody who can hear you, a friend who can hear you, a therapist, a counselor who can hear you. Some person, some way that you can express and feel what you need to express and feel without judgmentalism, without all of that blowback coming back at you. You have to be able to experience it because it's normal, it's human. And if you don't, that's how we end up building up in stress. That's how we end up having problems. It's not that you shouldn't feel or experience things, it's that you have to be smart about it. And you have to find ways and places and people that can handle it and take it and agree to be that person for you. Okay? So that's my accumulation of how I stay, walk this tightrope of life, is I let myself feel and experience and express all the things which are natural and normal and human, which is, if you're feeling it, it's human. If you're capable of it, it means it's human, okay? And it's okay. You just need to figure out a way to do it that doesn't land you in jail or destroy all your relationships, okay? Yes, it does make a lot of sense. We can't expect anybody else to be present when they need help too. Exactly. So, okay, that's it for this week. Wherever you're watching this, email or YouTube or Facebook or wherever, leave a comment, leave some love, leave your thoughts, ideas, emotions. Use this as a great place to say what you need to say and be who you need to be, because it is safe, because it is non-judgmental, and it is loving and caring. So, have a great weekend. Good luck, and I look forward to seeing you on Monday. Bye.